Hi everyone, Mr. Ince here. We're going to go ahead and have another attempt at completing a triangle congruence proof. So over here on the right, let's take a look at what we have. I want to make sure that I call attention to the tool belt for building proofs, which is an arrangement of 6 different tools that pop up quite a bit when it comes to trying to create a proof with 2 triangles. Now let's take a quick look as a reminder of the options that you can use to yes or no determine that 2 triangles are in fact congruent. So here's our list of yes. So you could use side, 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 angle, side, where the angle is included between the sides. You can do angle, side, angle, where the side must be included between the angles. There's angle, angle, side, and then finally hypotenuse, leg, which deals specifically with right triangles. Now remember, there are 2 things that are not good enough to determine congruence. One of them is angle, angle, angle. That's no good. Or side, side, and then angle, which is also not good enough. So let's get to this proof. So for this example, you always want to make sure that you take a close look at the givens. We are given that point B is the midpoint, kind of a key word there that you might need to reference, the midpoint of side DE, and that also angle E is congruent to angle D. We are trying to prove that these 2 triangles are in fact congruent. Okay, so let's get started. I like to start by getting some notation in the picture. So I'm told that B is the midpoint, and the definition of that word midpoint means that it's literally in the middle, which means that the other 2 pieces of it must be the same as each other. So that means that EB and DB are congruent in size. We are also told flat out that it's given that angle E is congruent to angle D. So that's something that you can just immediately mark in the picture. And now I'm at the stage where I have to add things to the question, or I'm allowed to add things if I know them to be guaranteed to be true. So that's where I'd like to come down to my tools here, and I recognize, wait a sec, I think that we have a pair of vertical angles in this picture, which we do. They're surrounding point B. So that means that this angle has to be congruent to this angle, and that's based on the fact that they are a vertical pair. So now we need to swing over here to the right and begin our paragraph proof. We like to use these bullet points, and so you should always start with the givens. I like to start with the definite ones that state an angle congruent to an angle or a side congruent to a side. So for us, we were told one of those. So it's given that angle E is congruent to angle D. All right, next up. So that clarifies angles. We use the actual definition of the word midpoint in order to make the conclusion about the sides. So let's make sure that we stress the definition of that. So using the definition of midpoint, then you want to make sure that you clarify what that definition did for you, which for us, it said that side EB is congruent to side DB. Finally, this was the stage where we had to add something to the picture, and we spotted those vertical angles right there surrounding B. But notice there is more than one angle that comes from B, so you have to use 3 letters in your name. So we're going to state that angle EBA is congruent to angle DBC. And our reasoning is because they are a vertical pair. Okay, so here's where you can stop and take a look at, well, what have I done? If you look at ours, this was an angle, a side, and an angle, and this side right here is included between the angles, so we can go ahead and use angle, side, angle as our reasoning at the end. So I'm going to come back over here, put down my 4th bullet point, and I'm going to say that by ASA, comma, and then you can just go ahead and finish with that proving statement. We have now proven that triangle AEB is congruent to triangle CDB. Whew! All right, we did it. Thanks for watching.